Welcome back to the channel. How to use Google Keep for beginners. This is one of these apps that you probably already have. If you have a Gmail account, a Google account, you already have it and probably not even using it or don't even realize that you do have it. So even if you're new to computers or you've been using and had Google accounts for years, you'll probably find there's a lot of the Google apps that you don't actually realize they're available. So today we're just introducing Google Keep. So let's jump straight in there and let's have a look. So Google Keep, we'll just open up our Google account here and we'll just have a quick look here now. So we go straight over to the bunch of dots, which is right beside your profile name there. And if you click on those, that shows you all the applications that are available under the Google suite of products. Now we will be covering all those individual products over the next coming weeks. So make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to follow through on all these different things. So if you scroll down, halfway down, you'll see a little light bulb type of icon there that says Google Keep. And if we click on that, it opens up our Google Keep, which is like a note-taking type of application, but it's got an awful lot more benefits and it ties into a lot of the other apps within the Google suite, such as Gmail and everything else. And we'll be touching on that on another lesson over the coming weeks. So this is the empty screen that you will see. So I'm using a fresh account here so you get the full benefit of it. You get the bar up the top here to start taking a note, and you can take a few different types of notes. So you can take a tick list type of note, you can have a note with drawings or one with pictures or a plain note. So we're going to jump in here very quickly and we are going to go with the new tick list. So we'll start off a very simple one, and this can be for numerous different projects and different things you've got both in your personal and business life, or anybody really, students and everybody else. It's a fantastic tool. So we're just going to keep this one simple and that it would apply to everybody, and we'll just call this a shopping list. So you just type in your title there of the note itself. We'll just click on the first item here and we'll just add a couple of simple things. If I just hit the return key and down to the next item, whatever it is, and we just put one more for the moment. So vegetables. Now, as we have that list, so this will give you just a perfect idea of what you can actually do with this, because you could keep that. So I'm just going to click out of that to save the note, and we can do numerous different things here. So if that's a note that we're going to reuse over the time, so let's say we have that completely populated with all the products, the shopping list, we could have the complete list there, and as we have purchased them, we tick them, and you'll see that they go to the bottom of the list and they're crossed off. So we have been at the shop. We can pull this up on our phone. This is the great part of Google Keep, is where it's integrated and it's shared across all your devices. And we can also share it with other people. I'm going to elaborate on that slightly in a minute. So we'll tick the items as we purchase them. As we find we need them again, we can untick them and they go back on the list for the next time that we're at the shop. What else can we do with that particular note? We can add some background options. So we can pick just a little graphic there to illustrate what the item is. Probably a bad one there. We'll just go maybe with that one, or ideally that. So there's a nice little graphic to jazz it up a little bit and make it stand out a bit on your list of notes. We can also set a reminder in here, which is a great tool altogether, where we can put a time on it as to when we want to achieve that particular list as a reminder for it to keep popping up. We can also, and here's the great thing, is next to that, so we can color the background, we can add a reminder, then you have a collaborator. Now, within that collaborator, I can actually share that, let's say with my wife or whoever I need to share it with, and it is on both our phones and both our Google accounts. The great part of that is that as if I'm at the shop and I tick off that I have got milk and bread, for argument's sake, it comes up on my partner's phone straight away. When she looks at the list, she'll see that milk and bread has already been ticked, which means I've purchased it. So that is a great collaboration tool. So you do that by just clicking on it and sending an email to the person that you want to collaborate on that. So I'll just cancel that for the moment. The next item is we can add a personal image in there. We don't need to because we just put a background. But if the project, let's say you're moving house and you've got a nice picture of the house that you're moving to in there, and then you've got your to-do list of different things that you have to do, that's a nice way to, again, make it a lot more attractive and enticing to use. We can archive the note. We can click on the little dots there and we can delete it, add a label, add drawing. There's loads of different things you can actually do. You can look at the version history. You can also copy it to Google Docs, so it actually comes up like a Word document. Now, when they say add a label, this is interesting because if we just add our first label there and we call it personal, so I'm putting that label of personal on there because to me that's a personal note. So I'm just going to click out of that and close that note for the moment. Now, if I have a lot of different notes within Google Keep, I can pin the most important ones. So up the top of that note, you will see that we have a pin icon. So by doing that, that puts it to the top of the list. So I'm just going to quickly turn round and take another note. And on this one, I'm not going to do any tick boxes or anything like that. Just going to make it fairly simple. Reminder. Now, I could type anything I want in there realistically. I can change the text element of it. You know, we've got some formatting tools in there. We can make it bold, we can make it italic, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to very quickly is put another note there. So we have no background in that, we do in that. So you can see that as you get a lot of notes, you can pin the most important ones up there. But because Google are Google and you have a fantastic search capabilities, and we created a label for personal earlier on, we can search by the notes by the categories and the labels that we have them tagged with. So bringing it back to our overall notes, where you saw on the very first one, we went in and we just added labels to it. The second note, we're going to do the same and we will just add a label to it. But on this occasion, this is to do with work. So we will put a category of work in there and just click create work at the bottom, and we'll click out of it. So when we go back to our labels and we go to search, we have a category for personal and a category for work. If we look in personal, we only have the personal ones. So that's how you create a list. You can create different types of notes, whether it be a list format, plain, pictures, or you can have a combination of all. You can then categorize them in the different labels that you see I've created on the left-hand side, such as personal and work. I'm going to go back to the overall notes here. You can change the background in your Google Keep to a dark mode, which you can do by going up to the cogwheel icon up the top right hand corner. And if you go into the settings there, just below settings, you have enabled dark theme. So that's another viewpoint to look at. So we'll just disable that for the moment. Now, right, we're just going to take another note there, and this time, so we've had a quick list note, and we've had just a plain note, which we haven't done too much with down there. Now we'll just do a picture note for argument's sake. Now, let me see, we just have that picture there in my pictures, which is thumbnail for some training on Gmail. So we will call that Gmail for beginners. And in there, I want to add a few different things. So I want to actually add a tick box for starters, or show check boxes. So we'll do that for the moment. And in there could be the different things to do with this Gmail. So we will go with the script. Title, thumbnail, and so on and so forth, and some of the talking points with regards to what I want to discuss. There are quite a few different things I can do with formatting that. I can actually go into it and change the size of the text, bold, italic, underline. I can add a background, as we've discussed, hit a reminder, add somebody else that's helping me on this, which, as I said, is very valuable. Add another image, archive it, delete the note, add another label. So I'm just going to add the label YouTube to this one. And we shall create that label there, and you'll see it populates down the left-hand side with the rest of your labels. So just coming out of that, and it goes back to a smaller view. The little pin note, as I said to you earlier, we just click on that and it brings it back to the foremost up the top of our list. So that's just a quick overview of Google Keep and how valuable it is. Great little application by Google. And don't forget, it's part of a complete suite of tools that we will be covering in detail over the next coming weeks. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one, when we'll be covering a few more of the wonderful tools from Google. Bye now. See ya.